Welcome everyone to the 7th Annual Trusted Advisors event. Thank you for joining us on this webcast from wherever you are today. Unfortunately, we couldn't be all together, but thank you for taking the time to watch today with us and join us. So today we are recognizing advisors who are skilled professionals, those who have spent many years sharing their expertise with their clients, up-and-comers as well, who are just beginning their careers, and a legacy advisor who has been in the business for over 20 years. I would like to congratulate each and every one of you, and thanks again for joining us. Now we'll be joined by Jennifer Jackson, the publisher of Springfield Business Journal. Jennifer?
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Many of you are familiar with her work as co-anchor for Springfield's Color 10. It feels a little weird saying Jennifer, but very glad to have a professional on the scene. And welcome all of you to the Trusted Advisors event. I want to thank our sponsors today. They have stayed with us and are supporting this event, not because of where it is, but because of what it is. And they recognize the importance of what you, our trusted advisors, do and bring. So I want to thank our presenting sponsor, who is Trustpoint. They are a Sandler training center here in Springfield. I want to thank our two premium sponsors, Central Bank and Trust and Huber and Associates, and also our supporting sponsor, Guarantee Bank. If you will, I'd like to turn your attention now to a brief message from our presenting sponsor, Sandler Training by Trustpoint.
Hey everybody, welcome to SBJ's Trusted Advisor event. Brett and Beverly Baker here with Sandler Training at Trustpoint. We're honored to be a part of this. We've done this for several years, and it's always very exciting because it aligns with our belief system. Congratulations to you, Bill Dutton, for the Legacy Advisor. That's a big deal, and I know you have hundreds and hundreds of people that trust you in their world, so it's very cool to see you honored with this one today. And we know several of the people being honored, and we don't know some of you, but we honor each one of you and are excited for each one of you and where this is going to take your career, and it's very cool to be a part of this.
Enjoy the event, even though it's not a seated event. We're doing it differently this year, but just congratulations. Take a moment to celebrate with your team, and I think we get to see you next week when you come accept your awards, and we'll shake your hand then.
Have fun.
Thank you for that. Brett Baker is a longtime friend and supporter of SBJ and a personal friend of mine. Brett is the owner and chief trainer for Trustpoint Sandler Training Center. You just saw both Brett and Beverly, both who do training for Sandler. But we're going to go back to Brett for another more personal message to our honorees.
I know there are transactional salespeople and professionals that just want to do what the prospect's asking them to do. There are some people out there that have gotten pretty good about moving away from that and asking some questions. But what we find is that people still very, very quickly solve. In fact, there's a study that shows 76% of sales professionals will solve the problem in the first 3 to 5 minutes with a price. And so that tells you that they don't have the strategic questions to get the prospect to self-discover on their own. I need your help. So the answer is, or where people come to us and say, I need question developing, I need questioning strategies to get my prospects to come to their own conclusion. I need your help. And when that happens, competitors go away in their head. The other options go away.
At Trustpoint, our company mission is to grow and coach professionals to become better versions of themselves. And for us personally, there's nothing more exciting than watching an individual get a hold of a skill set or a tool that causes them to not only be more successful in their professional life, but it changes their personal life as well. They have stronger conversations, they build trust faster, and they do it in the most genuine way that fits their style. And when someone gets a hold of that, it's infectious to be around, and it's why we do what we do.
Thank you, Brett and Beverly, and thank you to all of the sponsors of this event. To get us kicked off today, I want to say a brief word just about what the Trusted Advisors event is about and how it came to be. We do several honoree events with Springfield Business Journal, I'm sure as you know, and throughout the year nominations come in via our website, and we found that so many of those nominations, particularly for the company honors, are coming from a close group of advisors that are behind the scenes boosting and propelling these other businesses and business leaders to their success. And that close group of advisors are the people that are the focus of this event today. We thought it only right that we would shine the spotlight on those people who often are working on behalf of others and not in the spotlight themselves, but the work that they do is so incredibly important. As Jennifer already alluded to, we're honoring people in three basic overarching categories. One is the up-and-comer, and these are professionals that have been in their field, regardless of what advisement field that is, for 5 years or less. And then we have the trusted advisors as a large overarching category. And in that, we are recognizing attorneys, bankers, insurance agents, IT professionals, and wealth managers. And in each of those professions, there will be 3 honorees recognized. And then also a legacy advisor. This is an advisor who has been doing what they do for 20 years or more, and we consider it a pinnacle award for their achievement in their field. We did this or selected the honorees. We do not do those honors. Thankfully, we have a panel of judges. And for the most part, it has been prior honorees that have selected the new class. This year's group is not an exception. I want to recognize the work of Andrew Denny, who is CEO and financial advisor for Prosperity Financial Group and was a 2017 Trusted Advisor honoree. Doug Frederick, principal attorney and at the law office of Doug Frederick and a 2019 honoree. Jeff Kennedy, employee benefits specialist with Nixon and Lindstrom Insurance. He was a 2019 honoree. Ashley Radford, vice president and director of corporate, a 2018 honoree. Matthew Suarez, investment officer and portfolio manager for Central Trust Company. He was a 2018 honoree. I think it's worth noting here, these judges did an exceptional job, by the way, so thank you for that. We have a tremendous group of honorees. But I wanted to make note of Springfield Business Journal's effort to do a better job of recognizing the work and important contributions of minority groups in Springfield. And so we will expand our judges pool beyond just our current group of honorees. Maybe you'll be relieved to hear that actually. That doesn't mean we won't have prior honorees sitting on that panel, but we will try to have more diversity and inclusion on our judges panel in hopes of a more diverse and inclusive field of honorees. So with that, I want to turn it back over to Jennifer Abreu to take us through this year's honors.
All right, thank you very much, Jennifer. So now I will be introducing the 3 honorees in each category. As we talked about, we have 3 of them. So for the first one, it is our accountants honorees for 2020, and we will hear a short video from each of them. SBJ has interviewed each of them. So for the first category, for accountants, we have Michelle Goldsberry of P and Tax Service, Ryan Civil of BKD, CPAs and Advisors, and Michelle Smith of Elliott Robinson and Company.
A trusted advisor is, to me, makes me feel like my clients know that I'm there for them always, and that I have their back, and that we try to stay on top of everything for them so that they don't have to, and they can come to us for the advice. We do a lot of accounting and taxes for small businesses, and there's times that small businesses just don't know how to manage their profit and loss or look at what those numbers mean. And there's been several times that we can reevaluate what they're doing so that they can stay in business or so they can be more profitable and make it. it's just explaining to people what those numbers mean sometimes is all they need.
When you think about trust in a relationship and what that means in the professional services world, as accountants, we work in professional services, and who do businesses trust their livelihood to? Well, it's those they trust. It's those who are there for them. It's those who are helping them think one step ahead. It's those who are available when they need to be. It's those who are present when they need them there. And it's those that, they know have integrity above reproach.
Your clients need to trust you, and the reason why they come to you is because they do, and you've established that. The connection that you have with them, with understanding their needs and the goals that they're trying to accomplish, and making sure that you're constantly staying in tune with those and communicating with them. We've had several clients in recent years who have come to us specifically to represent them during their IRS examination. They've either been referred to us by attorneys who said that they've done all they've been able to do, and so then they pass it on, see if an accountant can get a better answer. We worked on one for several years actually, and finally got resolution, and was able to reduce the assessment by several $1,000s. I'm talking like tens of thousands of dollars just for this one, sole proprietor Schedule C. It was just a fact of, taking the tax code that's before us, interpreting it in the way that we saw fit, and helping the IRS audit agent understand that his interpretation was maybe a bit misguided, and getting that assessment down to a reasonable and understandable number.
I work with the food bank at our church, St. Vincent de Paul, and we've taken fundraising from nearly nothing, from like church tithes, to $30,000, $40,000 more per year, every year. And, they serve 200 people a week with food bank boxes. I challenge my staff to find ways to help the community, to be involved in the community, even if it's just with little things.
I have been greatly involved with the Network for Young Professionals through the Chamber for the last couple of years, and have been fortunate to chair that group this year. I know when we got into this environment, when we knew events started needing to be virtual, and we couldn't get together in large groups, we still had a group of leaders within our organization, supported by the Chamber of Commerce staff, who wanted to still get our group together virtually, wanted to hit things like, have programming on things like how to stay involved, mental health, and other avenues, to make sure that, we keep this awesome community going.
With my son starting elementary school, I've been increasingly involved in the PTA program at his school. That's going to look a little bit different this year. There's going to be more virtual opportunities, and we're trying to figure out ways to maintain our involvement with the student base, because it is important for those classroom parties to still continue, and to somehow have the parents be involved in those, to show that the children are supported, not just while they're in the classroom, but also outside of that, and allowing them to have avenues of positive adult interaction where they may not otherwise.
All right, congratulations to our 2020 accountants. Up next, we are talking about our trusted advisory category, and the next trusted advisory category is attorneys. And the attorneys we have this year is William Beadle of Tolbert and Beadle, Patrick Douglas of Douglas, Hahn and Heidemann, and Jake Reinbold of Turner, Reed, Duncan, Bloomer, and Patton. And now we'll hear a little bit from each of them.
To me, it was a surprise and a great honor. And I like to think of it as, in my line of work, doing all defense work, I'm advising my clients in a time when they really don't know what's going on. A lot of times it's the first time they've ever been sued, it's the first time they've ever been in litigation. And it seems like with my clients, especially for insurance defense work, my goal with my clients is to get them to understand that I'm here to help them and everything's going to be okay. A lot of times it's a very scary process.
I'm on the opposite side of Jake. I do litigation, but I'm on the plaintiff side. So to that matter, I think it echoes what Jake said about, reassuring your clients that, hey, everything's going to be okay. On our end, we've got folks who have been injured, sometimes catastrophically, and they've got unpaid medical bills, they've got time off work, and things didn't go so well with negotiations with the liability insurance carrier, so we moved on litigation. And a lot of times clients think, oh no, this is the end of the world. I don't want to go to trial. I'm nervous. I'm scared. So I think a lot of what I do echoes what Jake said. I mean, just reassure them, tell them here's what's going to happen.
I do a lot of estate planning and business transactions. So very different, I would say, from that, but very similar in the sense that you're there to assure clients in their out of their comfort zone, or they wouldn't be seeking legal counsel. They constantly need, assurance of the end goals. And of course, trust is a key thing. And that's why this was such a meaningful award for me, is being a trusted advisor is one of the things I aspire to the most, in the sense that, you build trust from, performing well for clients. They come back, they talk to others about you. And then that's the way business spreads. That's the way we get our next client, is coming from somebody who is satisfied with what we did and the way we did it, the way we showed them respect. So I was very honored and of course very surprised by the award. We had a client that had lost a spouse and was just not doing well, and was clearly lonely and suffering. And we just went to an associate of mine and I just went to visit him. We went and took him lunch and kind of had some time to just talk and visit and just be a person and just know that we really do care about them. And that's one of those things that you may not do very often, but when it's needed, I know these guys are probably the same as me. They're going to do that because that's what we do. We have relationships with our clients and we care intimately about them.
For me, it's a lot of times it's being in trial, and that's the scariest time for my clients, because a lot of big numbers get thrown out to the jury. My clients can think, oh, like I said before, I'm going to lose my house, I'm going to lose my car, they're going to take all my money. And like Patrick said, sometimes there's a lot of hand-holding that goes along with the job, and you take them out to lunch, you talk to them, you reassure them. My goal, as I've said, is just to let them know that I'm here for them, I'm here to help. I try to let them know I'm not a counselor. I can't help them with everything, but I'm going to make sure that they get a fair shake.
It's just one of those things where I think you have to build that relationship and be as objective as possible. It's easy to get sucked into the drama that's involved in representation, but you need to pull yourself outside of that and give the client what they need, which is objective advice.
Congratulations to our 2020 attorneys, and now we have a message from our premium sponsor, Central Bank and Trust.
Our commitment to the Ozarks runs deep. It's a local focus you're not likely to find anywhere else except right here. We live and work here, so why not make our community strong, healthy, and successful? We support the community in so many ways each year, through donations and volunteerism, because as a local bank, we are only as successful as the communities and people we serve. We exist simply to serve our community by consistently offering friendly, convenient banking services and sound financial advice to our customers, and becoming true partners with schools, nonprofits, foundations, and other organizations throughout the Ozarks. After all, that's what community banking is all about. The next time you're at a local charity event, take a good look around. You'll probably recognize some of our employees working side by side with the rest of the volunteers. That's just who we are and what it means to our company and employees to be a part of a great organization and community.
And we want to thank Central Bank and Trust for sponsoring our event today. We will now move on to our next category, which is bankers, and our honorees are Steve Kelly of Arvest Bank, Scott McDonald of Central Bank of the Ozarks, and Janet Weber of U.S. Bank. And now we'll hear from each of our honorees in the bankers category.
My personal why is that every individual I connect with feels loved and cared for. So that's kind of how I operate with individuals every day. And whether it's in a professional environment or a personal environment, that's just the core of who I am as an individual. And, you know, from that, being a trusted advisor, what that means is building a, you know, solid foundation with that individual. Everything we do at US Bank, at our firm, starts at the cornerstone of planning. So it's really understanding an individual's hopes, dreams, and goals of, you know, where they see themselves, and understanding that and really providing guidance and direction that's best going to achieve that.
I think what's impacted me the most is just recently the PPP loans and being involved, our bank being involved with those. And that's definitely been a team approach, because with the PPP loans, in large part, basically, the government said we'll start accepting those applications on a Friday. And so in our minds, well, we thought that our business was just as important as a Ruth Chris or, you know, some other large business that's nationwide. So therefore, we had a team that came in to start doing the applications. We had a team that came in at 12:01 Friday morning. So as opposed to waiting until 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whatever the case may be that morning, we had a team there at 12:01, and they basically, that team approach, we had them there inputting applications, and they were doing that from basically 12 o'clock midnight on Friday until about 7 o'clock that Saturday evening, that first round of PPP loans.
Understanding your goal, understanding a long-term view and a short-term view, and figuring out, hey, what's most important to you about your operation in the coming months, and then is there anything at all that I can do to help, or is there anything we can do that I can play quarterback for within the bank to help put a team around that person to serve them in the best way possible, and so that we are not getting in the way of their goals, but we're aiding and facilitating their path to get there. So for me, I think that's what's been most important. You got to start with a sense of understanding and a sense of really knowing what the objective and direction is before coming alongside of them and saying, well, you said this, so maybe we can help with this, this, or this.
Very fortunate to be involved with Christian County. I'm a graduate of Nixa schools, and been able to serve on the Nixa school board for, gosh, I guess 12 years now, and tremendous being able to serve on that school board, and also just being able to live in the same community that I went to school in.
The thing that kind of I'm most passionate about in the community is anything related to nonprofit finance, anything related to how nonprofits make financial decisions and how they raise funds and their different strategies and tactics for hitting their budget and those kind of things. It's just been something I've been fascinated with since I've been involved in a community foundation board in my past. So when I got to town, I was able to get connected with Brian Fogel and kind of shared some passion about nonprofit finance with him, and he was gracious enough to invite me on the mission-related investment loan committee to look through some different ways that the CFO helps fund nonprofit different projects throughout southern Missouri, really, all across the state in that area.
One thing that I'm really passionate about right now is I'm chairing Go Red for Women, and I've chaired that in the past and was asked to come forward and do that again. And I love being a part of this organization because it educates women and men about heart health. And so it's focusing on women taking care of ourselves.
Congratulations to our 2020 bankers. Next up is our 2020 insurance agent, and our honorees are Jeff Chronister of Olis, Akers & Arney, Robbie Marks of HM Employee Benefits and Risk Management, and Ryan Sanders of Rich & Cartmill. We also spoke to them, and here is some of what they had to say.
I guess trusted advisor just means that you're there for your customers. Trusted advisor just means more than just doing your job. It means going above and beyond what your job entails.
I think kind of my criteria is if my clients call me first before they make a decision in their business, then they consider me a trusted advisor. If they call me after it's already done, I'm more of a vendor to them. So I work on their team to try and help them make the best decisions possible for their business.
I would say that all of us are working in a complex business and trying to manage the landscape of their business and reducing the risk of the clients. And in many cases, this is one of their largest financial line items. So they've trusted us to handle that, manage it effectively, efficiently, and our job's to be on top of it, be the expert in that field. I work primarily in the healthcare field with my clients, managing employee benefits portfolios. Obviously, with the rising cost in healthcare, it's critical and crucial to make sure that we are looking at ways to re-engineer the way that healthcare can be looked at. So I'm always trying to find ways to get creative, step out of the traditional box of insurance. And in many of those times, if I'm able to find a way to enhance their recruitment, retention, and have a financial impact that's in their benefit, that's a win for our clients, and it helps us continue to put a sustainable program together.
With COVID hitting, I insure nursing homes. That's kind of my bread and butter. And a lot of the news coming to those facilities, when everyone was just trying to get any bit of information they could, whether it came from the news, Department of Health and Senior Services, our trade associations, or their insurance advisor. And luckily, we partner with a lot of risk management firms that cater to senior living facilities. And so, my goal was just to try and disseminate as much information as possible to try and get that in the hands of the people making decisions.
I had a client who they were struggling with their fleet, their automobile fleet. They had a big fleet of vehicles, but then they also had a lot of employees driving their own vehicles. And they had no way to really check the vehicles to make sure that the maintenance was up on the vehicles, that type of thing. So we put together a program where they could use a third-party vendor. It wasn't insurance related, but it took a lot of things off of their plate that they were trying to manage and that they had issues with. We were able to put a program in place where they were able to get those employees' vehicles inspected, help them maintain them, and then also on the driver's side do MVR checks on those drivers on a consistent basis to make sure that not only was their vehicle safe to be on the road, but they were a safe driver and they were not putting the company at extra risk.
We're insurance professionals and trusted advisors in that field. We get clients that probably come to us for some of the craziest things sometimes, and some of that has been contact tracing. Hey, can you find us a solution for contact tracing in this? Can you help us find different solutions to make sure that our employees stay safe and that we can get them to return to work? Without their employees working, without their employees being able to be in many times in that facility for certain industries out there, it becomes a challenge for them to stay in business. So we took it on head first during this pandemic, and have had some great conversations that have really been outside of the insurance industry or product industry when it comes to what's being offered out there for many of our clients.
I'm a big brother with big brother's big sister, and so those kids who they did during the spring when school was canceled, they didn't have a place to go to. We still went out. We went turkey hunting. We got a turkey. I mean, we social distanced into the woods. It's been a lot of fun.
I am on the board of Least of These in Ozark, And COVID has really hit that organization hard. Yesterday was a give out day. They gave out 17,000 pounds of food. Had 81 families come through. As a trusted advisor, they asked me things that's in my realm that I'm happy to contribute to that because it's helping that organization.
As a trusted advisor, it's created opportunity. There are organizations out there that need our help, and it's been fun working through that strategic plan with them to try to get from point A to point B as efficiently as possible for them to get them through this challenging time.
Congratulations to our trusted advisors, insurance agents. And now we have our technology professionals for 2020. And the honorees are Chelsea Bodie of Pearson Kelly Technology, Kristen Dunn of J Mark Business Solutions, and Richard Redding of Tier 1. And here's what they had to say about being an honoree.
Especially within IT, a lot of the small to medium-sized businesses, they utilize outsourcing their IT support. So really we're becoming an extension of their organization. And that's really how I have perceived my role is on paper, I work for JMark, but I also feel like I work for these companies. And I don't take the trust that they're putting in us lightly. So really when it comes down to helping them plan and budget and determine the right solutions to meet their business goals, that's a big responsibility. And it really just comes down to feeling like I'm an extension of that business and making sure whatever decisions I help guide them through are what I would do if it was my own business.
To be a trusted advisor, I think you have to look at why you're doing what you're doing. And so one of the things that we've tried really strongly to put focus on is technology is not simple. It's very important that not only we give the plan, but we also handhold that execution, because it's one thing to tell them what to do. It's another to communicate, have those strategy sessions, ensure that what we set out to do day one, we're in it with them. We're in the game with them. We are also making sure that our recommendations continue to point to their business objectives.
I also like to fancy myself as a bit of an extension of my client's team. It's obviously something that's very, very important to me. But I think in order to do that effectively, one thing that we've done here that's a little bit different is we are sort of hyper-focused on a very small subset within technology. Having the experience and the knowledge to constantly be growing your knowledge base within that subset of technology so that you can continually drive optimization and improvement and strong recommendations for your clients. I sit on the board of directors for AITP of the Ozarks, which is the Association of IT Professionals. I've been on the board for about 5 years, and the program director, so I'm responsible for generating the content that we'll be discussing at those meetings. And ultimately that organization is sort of has two primary functions, the main of which being that we raise revenue to provide scholarships to students seeking a degree in technology. So it's obviously something that's very important to us to continue to enable young people to be able to pursue a career in what we feel is one of the most important fields in the industry today. The other thing that we do sort of inherently with the organization is provide some education. So being able to deliver continuing education to an already established workforce so they can continue to grow and fine-tune their skills and knowledge base. I think that drives a lot of value, not only amongst our chapter and our membership, but also through the community as they take those tools and that knowledge back out into their respective positions.
Ultimately speaking, my greatest passion is in people development. And so co-owning Pearson Kelly has really afforded that opportunity to kind of bring that and care about the people that we've got a team of about 45 today, and what we have focused on over the years and fine-tuning daily is to hire off cultural fit first, and then develop that individual and in terms of coaching, training, personal development, professional development, maybe it's financial coaching, just every single way that we can find a structured process to hopefully make them a better self than they would have been able to make on their own. And so it just really has been a whole different driving force for our culture. But people development gets me as excited as, and there's millions of great nonprofits, so I can't even speak to one of those.
The one that really spoke to me that JMARC was supporting long before I ever started working there was the Ozarks Counseling Center. So making sure that we support mental awareness and that people can always have that, whether they can financially afford to or not. It makes a difference to people. COVID is no exception to that, obviously. When people are cooped up and don't have the normal human interaction, having that extension and support is really important.
All right, congratulations to our 2020 technology professionals. And now we would like to introduce one of our premium sponsors, Huber and Associates.
I think there are probably 5 major things that you should look for when picking your IT partners.
One of the key things to look for is the longevity in a business partner and how long their engineers have been around and are working with the technology so that they don't have to discover as they go.
2, I think it's also important that you have live people answering the phone 24/7. Emergencies come up all the time, unexpected, and having somebody live there really helps those customers feel more relaxed and calm.
The third thing that you need to be sure to evaluate whenever you're looking for an IT provider is the breadth and the depth of their abilities. You don't want to rely on one person and one person alone. You want to have a backup to your backup, so they're really proactive in servicing your needs.
The fourth piece that you need to take into consideration in making this decision is their monitoring strategy and really how they'll engage with you on that. After all, we're in the show me state. It's very easy to say, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but you really need to make them prove it. There are a variety of approaches that you can take to that. But what we've seen be most successful is organizations that are willing to show up, work with you, and say, this is what I will show you on an ongoing basis to prove to you that I'm doing what I'm saying I'm doing, are those that are going to be best suited to actually help you in the long term.
You're looking for more than just somebody to answer the phone and come out in an emergency. You're looking for somebody who's going to build a long-standing relationship with you and help you grow.
And thank you again, Huber and Associates, for sponsoring our event today. Next, we have our Wealth Manager Honorees, and those are Becky Bonner of U.S. Bank Wealth Management, Kim Nichols of Morgan Stanley, and Justin Setzer of Central Trust Company. We spoke to 2 of them. Kim Nichols was not able to join the interview due to compliance stipulations, but here's what we have to say about her. As a Morgan Stanley financial advisor, Kim puts compassion for her clients to work along with her knowledge and experience. She says being a trusted advisor means more than just building portfolios and managing investments, but rather becoming a part of her clients' lives. And it's important to build trust and to fully understand her clients' life goals. Now we'll hear from Becky and Justin.
One example that comes to mind is I had a client earlier this year that his wife passed away. And first of all, it's very humbling that you are one of the first phone calls that person makes. It's not that I have all the answers, but I'm that point of contact for him. So whether it was he had questions about his mortgage and some bank accounts. So I'm reaching out to the mortgage lender and the banker, and he had he's wanting to do some updating with his estate plan. So I'm reaching out to the attorney so that he can get some things in order. I guess that's just an example recently of, again, I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to reach out to all those partners so that we can get things taken care of for him.
There's no I in team, and it takes a team to service every one of our clients. As she said, from insurance professionals to CPAs to estate planners. If the client can think of us kind of as the quarterback of the team and call on us for anything, which they many times do, from, as Becky said, buying cars or going to the Social Security office with them, really assisting them in any single way possible. There's no box we have to fit in, thinking outside the box for them and calling us whenever anything comes up.
I guess maybe just to kind of sum it up, I think that this is a career that it's very challenging and stressful at times, but at the same time, it's incredibly rewarding with the relationships that we get to build with our clients. And again, they are trusting us, and they may not always like what we're sharing with them, but they know that we're always going to give them the best advice. And so just when you have those clients that come back and have made life decisions based on what you have helped them to work through and accomplish, and to come back and express that appreciation is just incredibly rewarding. So that's just kind of an overall benefit, I think, for being a trust administrator in this role. One thing that is near and dear to my heart personally, I'm quite involved with Boy Scouts. I have 2 nephews who are Eagle Scouts, and my son is also an Eagle Scout. I will admit reluctantly, I became the den leader when he was in 1st grade because no one else would step up, but I'm so glad I did, and that has been eye-opening. I'm now on the board and have been for several years for the local council, and have become quite engaged in different opportunities.
I've been involved with on the other end of the spectrum, the Hospice Foundation of the Ozarks for the last couple of years, really trying to provide dignity and care for folks at end of life, and also their families, to make sure that they are at the right place at that very tough time. So in our business, a lot of our clients, as you would suspect, are after retirement and elderly. And so really seeing the process through and making sure everyone has dignity at end of life.
Congratulations to our 2020 Wealth Managers. Next up is Up-and-Comers. That's our next category. And our honorees for Up-and-Comers are Austin Fax of Lowther Johnson Attorneys at Law, Chase Marable of Connell Insurance, and Christian Rath of Abacus CPAs. And here's what they had to say about being a trusted advisor.
For me, it means that my clients, and I have a wide array of different clients that have different needs, that they put their faith in me and that they trust me to navigate what is typically a really complicated field. I'm sure Chase and Christian feel the same way. It's a field that, you can't really navigate yourself. And so to me, it's really something personal. It's really something special. That someone would trust me enough to put their faith in me to navigate them through what is usually a very difficult aspect or portion of their life.
My most proud moment starts from the very beginning, and it was actually getting the call from Adrian, our HR director, saying, "Hey, I want you to come in for an interview." That was a huge moment for me. From my background, being able to get a job at a place where I've done tons of research on and decided this is the place that I really want to work, to get that call for, to get basically what I would consider my dream job, was my biggest and proudest accomplishment. From there, everything, we've all seen it from Abacus, the community involvement, everything that I've done and the firm has done, just kind of go hand in hand. And so for me, it was just being able to work at a place that fosters that growth, and make sure that the community is a big part of what we do.
I'm going to piggyback right off of what Christian just said. Something that is really a proud moment for me is one, coming to Connell Insurance and being involved in such a great culture that loves to give back to the community and so involved in the community, just as much as my passions are personally too. A really proud moment was one of my really good friends was looking around to be with a new firm, and I said, "You have to look at Connell Insurance. They're a great firm. I think that you'd be a great fit." And he did, and he's now been with Connell for almost a year. So it's really a proud moment when you get to introduce somebody to a great organization, and then they can go out and be a trusted advisors with Connell for all of our clients.
For me, I would say my proudest professional moment, and probably the coolest thing I've gotten to do thus far, has been to argue in front of the Missouri Supreme Court. That's something that not a whole lot of attorneys, or not many attorneys in their career, get to do. And it's something that I had the opportunity to do at a very young age, that I had a bigger client that trusted me as part of our firm to go in front of the Supreme Court and make a cause for their case. So that's been probably the coolest moment professionally for me. And then personally, I won't speak for Chase and Christian, but I know we're all part of young professionals networks and young professionals groups. I know all three of us are were at one point heavily involved in Rotaract here in Springfield. And I think that just kind of speaks to the heart of service that all three of us on this call have, that we are very interested in not only advancing our professional careers, but also giving back to the community, because we see that as a very important part of being a trusted advisor and doing our job within the Springfield community.
I aspire to do a lot of things, not just within the company. I mean, I'd love to become partner. That is the end goal as far as progression through Abacus. But I think at that level, once you become partner, it's easier to make greater impacts.
I just want to help others. I love helping others personally and professionally. As a young professional too, to go what Austin just said, a lot of us really, it's a cool time in our life because we get to build so many relationships and networks with other trusted advisors and other young professionals that will be in Springfield for the 40 years that you just mentioned. So one of my aspirations is just to keep developing and building those relationships. In the next 40 years, there's a network of trusted advisors that we can all have relationships with and be able to serve our clients to the best of our abilities. As well, I just want to keep helping others in our community from a civic standpoint, from a professional standpoint, and help as many people as we can to be more successful.
Congratulations to our up-and-comers of 2020. Now we move on to the Pinnacle Award for today, our Legacy Advisor, and that goes to Bill Dunton, the Managing Partner at Abacus CPAs. And I want to tell you a little bit about Bill. He took a big risk as a 37-year-old manager of a single accounting office, but 22 years later, it's paid off for him, his clients, and his staff, now at nearly 90 across 4 offices for clients throughout Abacus CPAs with just 4 employees, and he says it's recorded 20% annual growth on average, propelled by 2 acquisitions in the early 2010s. And he says Abacus has grown to 86 employees, and they've had steady financial growth each year. So congratulations, Bill, for your Legacy Advisor Award today. And we have a little video from Bill too to show you.
Thank you, Springfield Business Journal, Jennifer, and the staff for this honor. I also want to congratulate the other honorees here today. I am humbled and grateful to accept this honor on behalf of the 5 main influences in my life. These 5 influences have provided wisdom, support, and execution through our organization and through my life. That has allowed us to provide better guidance to our clients and communities for the last 33 years. First and foremost, God has played a very important role and continues to play an important role in my life and in my career and in the organizations that we invest in. God the Father left us a great roadmap, the Bible. Most of the principles and thoughts that we find that we're applying in our organization can be found in the Scriptures. Jesus Christ came and died on the cross to provide us salvation. The removal of the guilt of sin in our lives provides us freedom. He also said that He would never leave us or forsake us. That freedom has allowed us to courageously move forward and to try new and different things as we go throughout this career. The Holy Spirit was also sent as a comforter and a guide. The Holy Spirit many times throughout the challenges has provided us comfort and inspiration for that next step. I am grateful for the impact that God has had on my career and our organization. The next important component that has contributed to the success that has brought us to this award today is my family. My mom and dad exemplified a great work ethic. They created an atmosphere in our home that fostered personal responsibility, accountability, and intentionality. The most important person in this area is my beautiful wife of 35 years, Lisa. She has done a tremendous job accepting the responsibilities around the household. She's taken care of the kids and managed our personal assets and maintained the household to a level that has allowed me to free up my time to spend and focus on my career and the organization that we've been able to develop together. Another group that has contributed greatly to our success over the years have been the employees of Abacus CPAs. We're directed in our mission statement to attract and retain the best employees who share our commitment to excellence and our dedication to professionalism. Over the last 22 years, I believe we've succeeded in that directive. The employees have worked hard and gone above and beyond on many occasions, and in a lot of areas, their talents exceed that of my own. Through their talents and in our collective efforts, we've been able to achieve heights that only a few professional organizations have been able to achieve. Today, I'd also like to recognize and congratulate Christian Rath, who's being honored today as an up-and-comer as a trusted advisor. I'd like to also congratulate Adrienne McCoy, who in a few weeks will be recognized as the most influential woman. And then John Helms, who last year was also honored as a trusted advisor. With this type of talent and with the rest of the team, Abacus CPAs will be able to continue its environment of advice and consulting with clients for years to come. I am grateful for the role that our employees have played in our organization and in my career. Another group that has contributed to the attributes that have allowed us to receive this award today are the best individuals and businesses in our communities. We call them clients. They've extended us trust, and in response to that trust, we have worked hard and applied innovation to their situations. As a result of that relationship, our clients and our employees, as well as myself, have been able to operate in an atmosphere of growth, trust, and confidence. We call that the Abacus experience. As our clients have grown, we've had the privilege to support them in their efforts. By watching their activities and their decisions, we've had the ability to learn. As a result of our advice and their hard work and effort, they've made great decisions that have propelled them to new heights. Some clients have even allowed us to reach outside the normal CPA realm into non-traditional engagements. Those clients have reached new heights and success in their business. Along the way, we got to grow in knowledge and capabilities. I am grateful for the role that our clients have played in the contribution to our organization and my career. Last but not least of the influences on our organization and my career is the community with which we live. Wow, what a great place we get to live and work. Springfield in Southwest Missouri is big enough that we can earn and do what we want, yet small enough that we get to know many of the business leaders and get across town in 30 minutes. We also have several non-for-profit organizations in this community that benefit lives here. One of those is the historic Golois Theater where I'm standing. I've had the privilege to be on the board of directors for 17 years. Through that time, I've had the opportunity to learn from many other board members, general managers, in the projects that we've worked on. There have been difficult times through the renovation and through the operations of the theater, but all of those have brought opportunities for us to grow in knowledge and in strategies. We've been able to take that knowledge and those strategies and deliver those to our other clients as well in the community. So in closing, hopefully you can see from my delineation of these 5 influences the impact that they've had on my life and our organization. They've invested in us and supported us through the years. So today I humbly accept this award on behalf of these 5 influences and myself. May God bless you, enjoy our community, find a way to grow, and have a great day.
All right, congratulations, Bill Denton. That was an amazing video. And congratulations to all of you who were honorees this year, who were nominated and named a trusted advisor in each category. And thank you so much for joining us again here on the webcast. Hopefully next year we'll be able to be together and shake hands and congratulate you all in person. I will now bring Jennifer Jackson back here for her closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, and I too echo the congratulations to all of our trusted advisors. It really was special to get to know a little more about each of you through your short video interviews, but also I got to see several of you in person for the photo shoot that we had in a very COVID-approved way, but we met and took photographs and spoke in person. And I hope to do that again next week. We'll gather at Trustpoint so that you can get your plaques. And Bill, I would like to say to you, I so wish that we could have had a celebration in person for this pinnacle award of your achievement, and to all of you. I too echo Jennifer's thoughts that next year will be different. I want to thank our sponsors again, in particular our presenting sponsor, Trustpoint, who provides Sandler training here in Springfield, and our premium sponsors, Central Bank and Trust, and Huber and Associates, and our supporting sponsor, Guarantee Bank. I'll say to you, Jennifer Abreu, thank you for being here. You brought a note of professionalism and polish to the presentation of these awards. We really appreciate. And I also want to give a special thanks to the production crew that we've had to assemble to make events happen these days. It doesn't look anything like it did a few months ago. And so there are people working behind the scenes very hard to edit video and then to make everything happen at the time it's supposed to happen. So special thanks and shout out to you. Thank you all for attending and being with us for this celebration. Please nominate for next year. There are so many deserving of this spotlight and award. Take care and have a great weekend.